You stay strong because that's all that you learned how to do. You learned from an early age, your childhood, or past wounds, that you are not meant to be vulnerable. You are not meant to show weakness. You are not meant to express yourself in your ideas, your emotions, and your mentality, your physical state. You're always meant to be someone else's shoulder, someone else's reliability. But who is there for you? Who is there for you when you are emotional, when you need someone? You're so used to fighting yourself alone, to fighting your thoughts alone, to fighting the world alone. And that's not how it's supposed to be. You learned that no one can rely, that no one you know can rely on the way that you are reliable for others. That was terrible. But you understand. You are the centerpiece of everyone else's structure, of everyone else's world. And you learn that weakness is through emotion, through expression, through keeping it all tucked away in your mind, knowing that no one will ever be able to be there for you. You're not alone. There are so many people in this world that want to be here for you, that want to help you learn, to help you be more expressive, more vulnerable. If you ever sought or think or thought that vulnerability is a weakness, you have it all wrong. It's absolutely a strength. It's absolutely a positive trait. It is the energy that you need to be in order to truly be yourself, in order to truly let go. I had to learn how to let go, to fight against my life cycle, my life lesson, up from when I was born, growing as a child, teenager, to an adult. It is something that I had to learn continuously, and I never fully accepted it because no one else could be like me. And that's true. No one else could be like you. No one else can be the way you are, the strength that you are, the perseverance, the dignity, the respect, the dominance, not in dominating, but in mastery of self, of being the structure for others, of being the person that no one else can replace, that you are the foundation of everyone else's relationships, of everyone else's environments, because that is who you are. It is time to break down the ways of old that you learned, that you're learning even now, that will progress into your future if you don't understand, if you don't recognize what you're doing to yourself. Even pillars break under pressure when there's only one. It takes more than one pillar to keep a structure standing. It takes more than one plank of wood to keep the foundation from collapsing or from being solid. That is you. You are the foundation. You are the structure. You are the path. You're the gateway. You're the reason why other people flourish. You're the reason why everyone decides to change their mindset, because you were there to change it. You were there to be open to theirs. Emotionally, in every relationship that you have, you're there. But where are they when you need them? It's not that they were never there or that they aren't there for you. It's that your unwillingness to open up and be vulnerable and show weakness to others because you think that is bad. You think that is incorrect. You think it's weakness. Weakness isn't weakness. If weakness was the definition of weakness, it'd be a different story for life. but it has many definitions. Every word that we use has many definitions, many different perceptions of how it is explained and perceived to others and everyone. Weakness equals strength. Strength equals weakness. You cannot have one without the other. You cannot say you are strong, but you've never been weak. You cannot say that you've been weak and never been strong. It is time to recognize your feelings, your thoughts, your behaviors, your patterns. What are you doing today that is stopping you from being tomorrow? It is not anyone else that's holding you back. It is not your environment. It is not your reality. It is you. You are holding yourself back from being open and creating connection with other people, with people that you actually want to have connection with. Screw everyone else, okay? This is me and you right now. You need to learn how to do this. It's important for you to do this, to become an adult, to grow up and mature. There's many people that are much older than I, or much younger than I, that are more mature than me, or less mature than me in age. And that all comes down to self-awareness. That all comes down to how vulnerable, how emotionally available that you are, open you are with yourself. And you can't do that if you don't open the door. No one in this world is going to tell you, hey, your door is locked. They're just going to respect the boundary that you put on yourself and others, because we're all strangers to each other. You can't expect them to be a certain way if you never let them be a certain way. When you start changing your mindset, just about the little things, just slowly expressing yourself, slowly letting someone else be the pillar to your pillar, and that creates a foundation, a connection in which it will never break. Why? Because you were both vulnerable to each other. You both showed weakness and both of you showed strength to each other. That is something that I had to work through for a very long time. And I still do. I have no friends, no connections, at least in the physical realm, and no family, whether it's blood or unrelated. That's not because I decided to be the pillar by myself. It is, but there's many other factors to it. In my situation, they were not being pillars. They were not upstanding, upholding the foundation of what I was trying to build and create with myself. And you have to understand that not everyone will do that for you. Not everyone is willing to be your strength while you're weak. Not everyone is willing to be their weak while you're strength. It takes discernment and intuition. It takes understanding of yourself and of the person that you are involving yourself with. It takes dedication. It takes discipline. It takes motivation. Motivation is fleeting, but at least it gets you initiated, and that's where it starts. It starts when you finally decide to stop holding all the weight by yourself. When you start to finally decide and actualize it by saying, I will no longer be like this. I will no longer stand for this. I will no longer hold up to this pillar that can't hold a single foundation, that can't hold anything other than one person. And even then, the weight of your responsibility, the weight of your emotions, the weight of your thoughts, the weight of your behaviors, the weight of in your environment, it all affects you, and no single person can take it by themselves. Now you're going to say, because I know, because I've been through this, you're going to say, hey, I can do this. I'm strong. I'm built for this. I'm different. Mama ain't raised no. Those are barriers. Those are guards, safeguards to protect yourself from being who you need to be, who you're trying to open up to be. The next level in yourself is breaking the pillar, to break yourself. That does not mean self-harm. That means restructuring how you are, who you are, and who you want to be. How many times have you looked in the past and changed your ways because you were able to reflect upon it? Now it's time to reflect again. I encourage you all to reflect again, because you are the one that will change your future, that will change your destiny, that will change the way you are with people by starting today, by starting now. The quote that I'm thinking of is, the best time to plant a cherry blossom was 10 years ago. The second best opportunity or chance to do so is now. And I love that, because it hits two things. First, it hits the fact that the past is the past, and you cannot change it no matter how much you wish and want and emotion and think it. No matter what you do, nothing will change the past. Now think of that as yourself. No matter what you do, nothing will change your previous actions, your previous behaviors, the relationships you cut off, the people you siphoned, the people that tried to be there but you resisted, you backpedaled, and you put a wall. Why? To protect yourself. Because you learned that there is no one to rely on. And that is true. But that's only because you don't rely on anyone. It's only because of that reason that you're not able to get past yourself. If you don't allow yourself to open up, how can anyone else get you to allow you to open up? It's impossible. And it's destroying your relationships. It's destroying your environment. It's deteriorating yourself, because then you go back into the cycle of overthinking, of hyper-independence. And you're like, wow, well, I guess if they're not going to be here for me, just like they never were, well then, screw them. It's just me, myself, and I, right? It's not. It's you, yourself, and others. They say that it takes a village to raise a child, which means, if you take it into this context, it takes more than one person to hold all the weight of a life, to hold all the weight of responsibility on ourselves, to hold all the weight of emotional complacency and shutting down. You would never shut down on your own. You would never become deeply sad, deeply angry, deeply hurt. You wouldn't be overly frustrated. Why? Because you are not your best counsel. You are not the person that has the best advice for yourself, especially if you never learned it at an early age, or even at all throughout your life, in social environments, in group settings, in work settings. The only way you can change is if someone else changes it. The only way that you're able to be doing this is by allowing others in, by letting other people see the real you, by letting other people see the type of person that you're becoming. We're all learning, we're all growing, we're all turning into people that we wouldn't recognize tomorrow. And that's okay. It's not scary to change. In fact, it's scarier not to change, because then you're stagnant, then you're complacent, and then you repeat same cycles, old habits, old thought patterns, old behaviors. Why? Because you never learned how to get out of them. You never learned how to replace these habits, behaviors, thought patterns into a positive, energetic light, if that's the best way to explain it. It's not, but it's the thing that came to my mind. Think of your life as energy. When you decide to think of your life as energy, then everyone else's life is energy. The world around you is energy. I don't mean energy as in some fabricated thing. I mean, if you were just to envision us as something that could be taken away. Let's say a color. I love this analogy. Let's say it's a color. You are the color yellow. You hang out with red. So red leaves a little bit of red in you. Why? Because you guys met, you guys came in contact, you guys hit it off, you guys are doing great together. And wait a second, now you're no longer yellow. What's red and yellow? Green? Let's just say it's green. Okay? I'm right. I'm just kidding. Let's say it's green. And now you're no longer yellow. But that's not a bad thing. That could be a great thing. That could be a good thing, or it could be a bad thing. Reason number one why it's a good thing is because, let's say yellow imprinted something onto you, and red imprinted something onto you. Excuse me. So just that little droplet of red, of someone else's experience, of someone else's life and habits and style and thoughts and thinking process and their behaviors and who they hang around with, how they act, all of these things, then you start to become a little red. And then you make your own color, because you're not red, you're yellow. You were yellow, but now you're green. You're green because you changed in a positive way. Now, it could be the other reason, which is in a negative light. Maybe red has really bad habits. Maybe red has really toxic environments and relationships and behaviors and thought patterns. If you hang around red, you're going to become more green. So it's vice versa. Picture yourself as that, as one solid color. And the only way that you can change is by letting other colors, other people, other thoughts, other mindsets, other behaviors that are not your own, that you have yet to even understand or realize, because you were never able to be in these specific environments, be taught to learn the right way, the correct way, the way that it should be. Funny story, I learned, maybe TMI, but I learned that I go to the bathroom wrong. I relearned how to take a shower properly. For years, I would never wash my back because I was never taught to wash my back. No one told me, hey, did you wash your back? I was like, no, I wash my whole body. Yeah, it's all good. It's all done. I'm clean. But my back wasn't. The bottom of my feet weren't. It's not because you're ignorant. It's not because you decided to shy away from what is positive and what is thought-provoking, what is life-changing. It's because you were never shown. You were never taught. You were never guided. Opening up to other people and letting people in is not a weakness. It is the absolute epitome of strength. Why? Because you will get hurt. And that might scare you. But you cannot have one without the other. Strength without weakness. Weakness without strength. The moment that you become weak, you are strength. The moment that you become strong, you are weak. You are vulnerable in both ways. And when you understand that, something inside you clicks. It's not life-changing. It's not something that's going to change your whole reality. But it will change one thought about yourself. It will change one behavior about yourself. And that starts with no longer being the pillar. That starts with no longer allowing yourself to be cracked under the pressure that you put on yourself because no one else has taught you how to let go of it, how to release it, how to transmute it, how to not be the pressure. The greatest art in life is to let go, is to be free of will. Now, there's a conception about free will, but free of will is different. When you say you're free of will, you decide in that moment that nothing can hold you back. No one will hold you back. When you start to be honest with yourself, when you start to be aware of yourself, when you notice the situations, when your environments change, when there's experiences, when there's kerfuffles, you understand, wait a second. Am I taking on all the stress to myself? Am I bearing all the hardship for myself? Another great example is when I used to work at a sandwich shop. I was the best damn I was the best damn worker there. I promise you that. I promise you. But it shouldn't have been that way. Why? Because I wasn't the only one working there. I wasn't the only one pulling my weight. I was pulling the whole team's weight. I was ensuring that if they decided to fall, stumble, or hurt themselves, I would be right there. I would be the runner-up. I would be the next person in line. I'd even be in front of them before they even got hurt. Before they even decided to hurt the workplace. Destroy what I was creating for the workplace. Why? Because I felt that it was all on me. Whether there was 10 people, 100 people, or one other person working with me, I would have had the same mindset. This is all on me. I need to take responsibility. I need to take the weight. I need to take the initiative. I need to bear it all. And one time, I wasn't going, there were emotions flying because everyone was aggravated. It's work. Everyone was aggravated. And they decided to take it out on me. At least one person did. Unintentionally. He's a very kind-hearted soul. And he said, I forget what he said, but he did say a comment. And emotionally, I just couldn't handle it anymore. And I had to leave work and cry for like 2 minutes because I wouldn't allow myself to be vulnerable. I wouldn't allow myself to be hurt or feel the emotion. And I went straight back to work. Now that will be praised by your employees, by your employer, by your boss. But is that really what they're praising you for? Or is it because that you were able to get back to work so that their money, so that their time, that their effort doesn't go to waste? Not even accounting for, let's say if I was crying and I decided to just break down. I go back to work, right? And then I have a passive-aggressive moment. I have a moment where I yell, or I get angry, or I get sad, or I start throwing things, or I start being immature. It could be anything. It really could be anything. It only takes one twig to snap if it's dry enough, if it's unstable enough, if it's not properly maintained, if it's not properly well kept. And how else will that twig not be dry, not be satiable, not be in vigor? I don't know if I'm using the right words. Either way, how will the twig not dry and snap if there is no one else to water it, to care for it? The same thing with you. You need to learn how to do this. It starts small. It took me my entire life. I am 25 years old, and I've been dealing with this as an adult for 7 years. And I barely got past it. I barely understood my worth and what I'm bringing and what I'm doing to myself. I was uplifting my workplace. I was uplifting my relationships. I was uplifting my family. But what was I doing? I was breaking myself. I was breaking down. I was deteriorating. I went into habits. I went into drugs because I couldn't handle my reality, because I was never taught how to do it. I was never shown the right way. And here I am for you. I'm literally your blueprint. And it's time for you to wake, to remember yourself, to be honest with yourself, to trust in yourself. If you have any questions, if you have anything that you can't get past, I will tell you about it. I will bring it up. There is no situation in this life other than extreme poverty, like if I was in a different country, that I have not gone through. This young face tells lies. I have gone through so much in such short amounts of time. Like domino, 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 domino. That's just how life is. But now, I'm trying to give you back the power to catch the domino, to stop the rest of it from just falling in line and being like, well, that's life. That's how my life worked out. I guess we weren't meant to be with each other because romantically, da 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 da. I guess work just wasn't for me because I stopped going to work and they fired me for some reason. I guess they just couldn't handle me. No one's supposed to handle you. What are you? What are they? They're your manager? What are they? Your parents? Not to make it so cutthroat, but you need to be there for yourself. It's time for you to learn to pick up the pieces yourself, count the dominoes. You are in control of the board. You are in control of all the dominoes. It's only up to you when you decide to start putting your hand where the dominoes are falling and save the rest. Which goes back to that analogy of the cherry blossom. The best time to stop was 10 years ago. The best time to do it was yesterday. Now, if you just do it now, the rest of your life, the rest of tomorrow will not fall. You will not fall victim to yourself, into the reality that you create and say, that's just karma. They weren't good enough for me. This wasn't that. This, blah. And let's say you stop it today. Tomorrow you fall. Okay, just catch yourself. It's okay. No big deal. 3 days from now. Oh, you got to readjust that wall. You got to readjust the dominoes falling. Because the dominoes will fall no matter what. Until you decide to take control of the dominoes, of yourself. I hope this message went well. And I hope that it changed something in you. If there's anything that you'd like to say, please leave it down in the comments. I welcome any and all reflections. And I am here for you, and I'm here to guide the way to be the better person, the better you of tomorrow. Thank you for being here. My name is Augustin, and this is Just Before Clarity.